think Joe got first in Garda this year, and we all know what happened there. So hopefully, that doesn't repeat for me.
Oh, bad luck to win the practice race. Tried a few things and led a few boats past.
No major issues, just didn't do a shackle up properly, so I missed the start today. I was pretty lucky I didn't drop the rig, to be honest. But I was about 3 minutes late, and sort of got around the course, no worries, and a few things to tweak before racing starts tomorrow. We only had probably 18 knots of breeze, but the waves were pretty bumpy, and I didn't have any issues trying to keep it going fast, which was nice.
Joe always said that I could not spill a drop of coffee when I'm going downwind at Mornington. Even though I had my share of capsizes, nowhere near as many as them. But he was offering me a cup of tea out there today, downwind with the adjustable one.
So, Tom Slingsby, we were talking 2 years ago, I think, in Belmont when you just started on your moth experience. Yeah. 2 years later, how's the moth going?
Well, I sold it straight after those Worlds, and I've just got one a couple of weeks ago again. So I haven't been sailing much at all, but I got a little bit of training before this, a couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to it.
Now, in the in-between, you've had a lot going on in your world. There's been a gold medal, there's been a big America's Cup gig for you. Does the moth still do it for you? Is it still the exciting little boat that it was?
Yeah, it's still my favourite class, I'd say. I mean, I love laser sailing, but I love it for different reasons. I love the competitive nature. I like one design boats. But for the moth, for a pure boat to sail, nothing beats it in my eyes. I've done a lot of other sailing. A classes are great boats too, but for me, the moth is definitely my favourite. It's just the speed and the thrill of sailing and the feeling of flying. It's just something else.
Now, you're known as one of the fittest dinghy sailors, obviously with your laser experience and your gold medal and several world championships. The moth sailors talk a lot about the fact these are really physical boats to sail, the hiking out. Give us your comparison. I mean, you sail one of the hardest boats, the laser, for hours and hours upwind. Well, that's what it looks like to us. What's it like as a comparison?
It is similar. It's a very different way of hiking because when you're going upwind in the moth, you've got it heeled right into windward. So you're actually, instead of all the load being on your thighs, you're tucking your feet up to stop yourself from falling out the back of the boat. There's a lot of core work involved in the moth, definitely. At the moment, post-Olympics, I haven't been doing any fitness training really, so I'm not as fit as I used to be, but it's definitely a physical class, and if you could work on your core work and a bit of leg strength, it'll definitely make you go a lot quicker in the moth.
And in the laser, people talk about weight all the time, weight and height and leverage. What would you say is the optimum weight height for a moth?
I guess you just got to go after guys who do well in all conditions, around the sort of 80 to 82 mark, it seems, at the moment. Peter Burling's good in all conditions. Scott Babbage is a bit better in the lighter stuff, but he does well in the heavy, and he's probably around 75, 76. You can really get a mast and sail to set up for your weight, and you can do well in all conditions, as Scott and Joe Turner show, and Nathan show that in all conditions they can do well. It's just really finding that right sail and mast combo. I'm 88 and I'm a bit too heavy, but I still have a lot of fun.
Now, the moths are great, obviously, for learning and reinforcing all sorts of skills. In terms of your America's Cup program, how much can you take from what you know and you've learned through moth sailing into trying to get a multi-hull to sail above the water?
It's hard, really. It's just, I think you just feel a bit more comfortable up when you are on the foils. I know when I sailed on the 72, when we would jump up, you'd see a few hands like really grab the pedestals and a bit of nervous times. But for me, I feel very comfortable up there because I've done so much of it. In regards to boat designs and stuff, they're just two different beasts, really, and I learn a lot just about the finish of the foils and how water flows over the foils and the lips of the foils that you're looking to create lift and things like that. So I take all that into the AC stuff, but I I think it's just mainly the comfort and the confidence of when we're up on foils. I feel very safe and steady, and and I bring that experience in.
Now, as part of America's Cup team, clearly there's a whole new world that you've gone into, highly professional, masses of media, some restrictions on who you can talk to, there's spying. It's very exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're now part of that, Tom.
Yeah.
How does that, and does it affect the way you actually go sailing day to day?
It doesn't really. I mean, when I'm over there in San Fran, we're just every day we get there and we talk about what we're going to achieve each day, go out sailing. So for that sort of stuff, it's exactly the same as my Olympic program. I have a meeting with a coach, but except we've got a big team meeting with 30 people in the meeting, and we talk about what we want to achieve for the day. We head out in the water. We are very professional in the way we get things done at Oracle, and everything sort of. We come off the water with everything written down, we achieved, and so I think from my Olympic campaign it's just a little bit more professional, and on the water it's very similar there. And then off the water, then all the design meetings and all this sort of stuff, it's a whole new world for me, but I'm taking it all in and I'm loving it.
Now, with what happened with the big crash in October, when you're obviously one of the guys on board, clearly Oracle are on the back foot to a lesser or greater extent, but you're on the back foot, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. At this point in time, you go back in January, I guess it's, all you can do is give it your best shot. How do you assess your chances now, and how would you assess the two main competitive team, or three teams, Artemis, Luna Rossa and New Zealand? Give us your very top-line assessment.
I think, we're definitely on the back foot. It set us off the water for quite a while. But we had a team meeting after the crash, and we still think we're in good shape. We'll be back on the water in February. We're happy with our boat. We like our boat. Obviously, Team New Zealand look quite good. They've done a lot of training. They're on schedule, and that's a big thing. They've got their time on the water. And but I still think we're in good shape. I think we'll come back from it, and we're still on track to win the Cup in September this year.
Well, you had a huge 2 years from the last time we talked, Tom. Hopefully it won't be another 2 years, but best of luck this weekend. Thanks for talking to us.
Yes, thank you.
First race wasn't so good for me. I broke my wand, so I came in and fixed that, but I sort of wasn't doing so well either. Got the weed and everything screwed me up. But yeah, after that, sort of learned how to sail around it and when to clear the weed. I sort of went a lot better.
Lots of gains and losses through the track. I just managed to get a few lifts on the last work and get past Pete and Nathan, which was pretty lucky. It was a really close race. It was 2 laps. It was only probably 25 minutes or less, so everyone's really close together.
No, it was all right. A bit surprised. I got a bit of weed on a couple of times. Had to have a little swim to get it off, but I got a bit lucky at the end. I just soaked down a little bit lower than everyone else, and everyone had to do a little jibe. But yeah, I got a bit lucky.
I'm here with Scott Babbage, day 2 of the Zhik CST Nationals here in Australia. Scott, you're currently, I think, Australian and international chairman, president, something?
President, yeah.
Everything. You're king of the world, aren't you, really, with moths? And also second in the world's most recently at Garda and leading this fleet after day 1. So you know a bit about how to make these boats go. Now, just talk to us about where is the fleet, where's the class, where are moths right now? Because we've already done a few interviews today, and everyone we talk to as a moth sailor seems to be almost on an America's Cup programme or straight out of gold medals. It all seems to be happening in this fleet. Where does it leave the grassroots sailor? What's the future for this class?
There's a big future, bright future. I think while we have sort of 4 Olympic medalists at this event, there's still 66 other boats who aren't Olympic sailors. There's a big range through the whole fleet, and you see that on the water when there's boats being lapped pretty quickly. But although boats are being lapped and there's a big difference in performance, I think everyone's still having a really good time, and that's what probably brings people back all the time. It's not so much that they're going to win. It's very hard to beat the best guys, but you're having a good time while you're doing it.
So that's what brings the guys at the back into it. What keeps the gold medalists and the America's Cup sailors in the fleet?
Again, I think it's just because they're having so much fun. There's no boat quite like a moth, and while they're amazing fun, they still really are competitive, because the top, the Olympic gold medalists aren't winning yet. It's a long week, and they might at the end, but it's still really competitive.
And it seems to be in this fleet that our gold medalists are wandering around the boat park chatting with guys who've just started sailing, which I don't know if that's usual or unusual, but it seems like quite a nice thing. Yeah.
Maybe it's an Australian thing, maybe it's the guys are just very humble about what they've done, but it's a good environment off the water.
Now back to the front of the fleet race-wise, you're leading, you've got a couple of big names just behind you. What's the difference between a top 5 sailor in this world-class fleet and someone that's down the 20s? So where is it? Is it people skills? Is it fitness? Is it gear? Is it money? Is it what is it?
Gear is important, obviously. But then it's just sailing, so being in the right place at the right time on the water to get the shifts. Yesterday there was plenty of weed around, so it was a fair bit of luck involved in avoiding that. You can't really predict when it's going to be there, so avoiding the weed was big, and there were plenty of big shifts, so staying in the pressure was important. And then you have to be going fast and you have to be fit to stay up with the leaders.
It seems that more and more people are now managing to complete falling tacks to a better or less good extent, but the top guys are kind of doing it. Is that particularly physical? Because I see a lot of heavy breathing after falling tacks.
Not really. I think most of the time people tack more falling tack by mistake rather than on purpose. And now that we're getting smaller and smaller rudders, for instance, the falling tacks are becoming harder and harder. We're sort of going for peak speed rather than speed through attack, so the foils are stalling out, for example, which makes it really hard. So while they happen, they're rarer than not, and it's more us than class most of the time.
Right. And just a final question, Scott, speed-wise, we talked about the fact you're going with smaller foils for higher top speeds. How fast are moths going right now? So upwind on a nice breezy day like today, 20 knots plus, what will you be doing on your GPS upwind, and what will you be doing downwind?
You're probably seeing averages in the 17s. I think Pete was doing 19 odd upwind a couple of days ago.
Pete, which Peter?
Pete Burley. but generally you're seeing between sort of 13 at the low end and 17, 18 at the top end, and downwind just under 30, sort of 28, 29 knots at full speed, sort of ranging from 22 to 29.
And at 28 knots, the top sailors, are you in control? Are you on the edge? And what's the safe number? What's the kind of in control fast downwind, and what's scary for you guys?
Well, it's all about the sea state, so you can be fully in control at 29, 30 knots, as long as there's not a massive set of waves in front of you. So, yeah, it still feels fairly comfortable at 28, 29 knots.
Great. Now that you narrowly missed out on winning the Worlds
Yep.
just a few months ago to Joshua Knight, you'd led all the way up through the event. How are you going to avoid that same fate in this event?
This one's going to be much, much harder, actually, given that guys like Peter and Nathan and Tom and Ian and everyone else wasn't in Garda, so it's going to be much harder to hold on to the lead, especially if we get sort of stronger breezes for the rest of the week. They're all bigger and fitter than I am, so it's going to be quite hard to hang on. But we'll see how we go. Take every day as it comes.
Well, national, international president Scott Babbage, with all your titles, thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
First race wasn't so good for me. I broke my wand, so I came in and fixed that, but I sort of wasn't doing so well either. Got the weed and everything screwed me up. But yeah, after that, sort of learned how to sail around it and when to clear the weed. I sort of went a lot better.
Lots of gains and losses through the track. I just managed to get a few lifts on the last work and get past Pete and Nathan, which was pretty lucky. It was a really close race. It was 2 laps. It was only probably 25 minutes or less, so everyone's really close together.
It was alright, a bit surprised. I got a bit of weed on a couple of times, had to have a little swim to get it off, but I got a bit lucky at the end. I just soaked down a little bit lower than everyone else and everyone had to do a little jibe, but yeah, I got a bit lucky.
Yeah, I had a bit of an issue today. The rope across the back of the wings broke in the first race, and as a result I broke the rear wing bar, and yeah, it took a while to get it fixed and to come in, and sort of ran out of time to get it fixed for the third race, so I missed all 3 races today, so it's a bit disappointing, but we're going to fix it up tonight and get out there tomorrow and you know, fight another day.
Oh, well, I was coming through the finish line and I saw there was an extra flag. The boy was in the rubber ducky and there was an extra flag flying. I thought, oh yeah, sure, of course. Yippee, I'm doing really well, this is good. Come hooking through the finish line, seeing you with the camera bait and went, oh yeah, I'm going to show off and I'll pull a bit of a quick reach down here. Did a jibe and kept coming down, and then I'm like, oh, hang on a second. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm an idiot? And I turned around and noticed everyone else kept racing, so I had to turn around and keep going then. I started a couple of 100 metres downwind. Unfortunately, and that was my best race, but oh well, these things happen. Have a laugh and get into it again.
Well, the first race got a really good start off the boat and some right pressure, and yeah, just led the whole way, and yeah, just kind of kept it pretty simple and managed to hold off Scotty in second, and then yeah, the second race I think it was pretty similar. I upped the first speed and then kind of went a bit worse on the second, and yeah, let a few through and then managed to get back past them. And then the third one, it was kind of a big battle between me and Tommy around, and just managed to hold them off.
Crash out there?
Yeah, I had a few actually. I had one just above the start finish boat. I think it was on the second last leg, and I was just coming into just a bit of ride height at the wrong time, and caught the bad wave and stacked it right in front of everyone. So I think I was recovery of about 2.3 seconds. I think I lost 2 boats. So and the bloke that come around behind me was giggling his head off, so if I find him, he's in big trouble. Anyway, I survived, I was out there, had fun, so it was all good.
Pretty good. I had one bad one and 3 good ones. I had like a 3, 4, a 7, and I don't know. I caught a fair bit of weed. That was the bad race I had early on. I caught a fair bit, and yeah, you have to capsize to get it off, and that's always pretty slow. I also lost the tape off my bunghole, and so by the time I got in, I was full of water. But yeah, a few issues. I was going to hope for top 8. it's pretty tough here with all the competition areas, and yeah, I haven't really spent that much time in the boat just yet, so top 8 would have been good for me.
Today was a pretty good day. I had 3, 1, 15 and a 5, so I had 3 good ones and a bad one, but yeah, it was a good day.
I feel like lately you're the only one who's beat Pete. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, he was coming for me in that race. I was a long way ahead of him, and then I hit weed going down the last run, and he was probably 200 metres directly behind me and just mowing me down, and I beat him by about a second, I think, so I was pretty lucky in that one.
Yesterday, the rope across the back of the wings broke through the carbon fibre, and as a result the rear wing bar broke. And Dave Lister, who built the boat, did a great job last night of putting it all back together for me. And now I'm just going through and just checking every other rope on the boat and turning every knot into a splice so that there's no chance of anything going wrong today. So, you know, it was a bit disappointing to miss 3 races yesterday, but I still got a result and still beat Jody, which is the main goal for the regatta. And hopefully today I can get up there and get back out in the front. The ring bar's broken. It broke yesterday and it's broken in another spot now because we didn't repair it properly. So I've got a few tiller extensions taped to it at the moment, holding it together. And yeah, just trying to nurse the boat around the course so I don't do any further damage. And, it's a bit difficult trying to race when all you're trying to do is not break the boat. Probably should be sitting on the beach, to be honest.